Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the GoBox Studio. Now you've got your GoBox Studio. You can see it back in the shot over here, panning and zooming in. This GoBox Studio contains everything that you need to have a production studio on the go. Yes, it's got wheels, it's got a handle, it's got everything you need. Just bring your laptop, just bring your iPad, and you are good to stream from anywhere. Power, USB, anything that you need is built into this thing. So let's get it started. You've got it in your hand, but you don't know what to do next. All right, the first thing that we're gonna do is head on over to your computer, go over to goboxstudio.com/get started. So let me type it in, goboxstudio.com/get started. And voila, it's gonna bring us to this page. Get started. Let's get your GoBox Studio set up, maximize and be efficient. We'll start with downloading the following software for your Mac or PC. All right, step one, download the StreamDeck software. Now this is a software that's going to enable you to control the StreamDeck that's on your GoBox. So let's click on download for Mac. It's gonna open a new tab and start downloading the software. We'll go back to the previous tab. Step two, download the StreamDeck profiles. Now what you see here in this image, this is the StreamDeck profile that's going to load by downloading this specific file. This is the starter GoBox Studio profile. This is what we want you to get started with so that you know all the different functionalities that the GoBox Studio can do. Just go ahead and download the profile for Ecamm Live. It's gonna do the same thing. Open a new tab, download the file. And now we want to download Ecamm Live. Let's go ahead and do that. It's gonna take us to Ecamm Live website where we can then download the Ecamm Live software. It's gonna begin the download. The reason we take you to the Ecamm Live website is because they have new versions releasing and we want to make sure that you have the latest version when you download. All right, this thing is downloading. It's gonna take about a minute, which is totally cool. We're gonna go ahead and go back to our step, download Notability on your iPad. Make sure that you have this software installed on your iPad. If you click on this link, it's gonna bring you to the App Store, and the App Store will then let you download this Notability app on your computer. Simply click here, click on AirDrop, and then it's going to show me my iPad over here that I can then install the app to. All right, what's next? Let's go back to our GoBox Studio start page. The next thing we want to do is download the Notability template for the iPad. What is the template? This template has a built-in green screen, so when you're writing on the screen and using the Lightboard feature of the GoBox Studio, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. When we go to that step, you'll know exactly what to pull up. So I'm gonna go ahead and download this on my computer just so I have it. Let's go ahead and open up the downloads folder. Open this folder in Finder. Okay. The first thing that I want to install is the StreamDeck software. Let's go ahead and do that. Double click it and it says, yes, please allow this software to run on my computer. Okay, I need to install Rosetta to make sure that StreamDeck runs on this computer. Go ahead and install it. You probably already have Rosetta installed, so go ahead and do that just so you're sure that this is going to run on your computer. All right, let's click on done. Go ahead and go through the setup process. Hit continue, agree. Yes, please install it. Gotta put in my password again. All right, it's installing the software. And as it's installing the software, we also wanna make sure that everything else is downloaded. I'm just gonna move over and see, okay, Ecamm Live is downloaded. I've got the Notability Lightboard. And there we go. Once StreamDeck is downloaded and installed, it'll launch this window. This is the StreamDeck window. You can see that I only have one StreamDeck connected to this computer and only have one default profile loaded to where we were. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move this to the trash. All right, let's go over to the download folder again. The next thing that I want to do is install Ecamm Live. So I'm gonna go ahead and install Ecamm Live. It's installing. There we go. Guess please open it up. And Ecamm Live is now opening. It wants access to your camera, so go ahead and accept it. And it also wants access to your microphone. Go ahead and click OK. And of course, you want to accept the terms of agreement. And there we go. I want to make sure that Ecamm Live is living in the right directory. You want to make sure that Ecamm Live is living in the applications folder. So go ahead and drag it over there. I'm going to go ahead and launch Ecamm Live again. And as soon as you launch Ecamm Live and after you've logged in, Ecamm Live's detected that StreamDeck is installed on the computer. So it'll say, hey, do you want to install the StreamDeck plugin for Ecamm Live? And I'm going to say, yes, please. As soon as you click on that, StreamDeck is going to highlight this window and basically ask you, hey, do you want to install this plugin to StreamDeck? So let's go ahead and click install. And yes, please install the profiles. Every time you install a new plugin from Ecamm Live to StreamDeck, you want to make sure that you install a profile because something might have changed during the software, and you want to make sure that every time you install the profile. And as soon as I do that, you'll notice that the icons and the buttons are now connected and now showing you the exact thing that they're going to control. Let's go ahead and close StreamDeck software. And what we want to do next, go on to my Ecamm Live, and that should get me logged on. As soon as I'm logged into Ecamm Live, it's going to ask me, hey, to stream Ecamm Live, stream using Ecamm Live, connect your favorite platforms. You can connect to these right now, or we can do this at a later time. So go ahead and click on X and I'll show you how to get back to it when you are ready. So in step 3A, download Ecamm Live. You click on the first link, it's going to take you to Ecamm Live download page. Then you want to download the Ecamm Live profile. Let's go ahead and do that. It's going to open and it's going to download that file. And then we also want to download the Ecamm Live resources. These are actual videos installed that Ecamm Live uses for it to work just the way we want it to work. Okay, now that the files have installed and downloaded, let's go ahead and unzip these two folders. The two files that are going to come out of these zip files is that number one is the GoBox starter profile.ecamm profile, and the next one is a videos folder. These are videos that we're going to be using in Ecamm Live. So let's go ahead and install the Ecamm Live profile. All right, it's gonna say on Ecamm Live profile has been imported. The profile GoBox Studio TNC 2022 has been successfully imported and activated. To use profile menu at the top of the screen to switch profiles. All right, there we go. It is now installed. So we're gonna notice that we have all of these scenes loaded down here. Now let me walk you through what Ecamm Live looks like. Let's close these windows so we have just Ecamm Live loaded on our machine. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 scenes, and we have each scene has multiple overlays, which are then in the overlays window located right here. Now this laptop is not connected to GoBox Studio yet, which is why I'm going to show you just what each of these items do before we connect it to our GoBox Studio. So under the StreamDeck icon, click on Configure StreamDeck. This is now going to load up the StreamDeck software. Each of these buttons controls each of these things, each of these scenes, or enables each of these scenes. All right, so we're going to pull up the StreamDeck software so that we can make sure that these buttons are linked in to the correct scene on Ecamm Live. So the first button, full screen, is going to connect to host full. Lightboard is going to connect to the scene Lightboard. Sequence is going to connect to the video, the intro video. Then the full CTA is actually going to control an overlay called CTA-full. The half CTA is going to control an overlay that's named CTA-half. The lower CTA is going to connect to a file named, layer named CTA-lower. Let's go to the side-by-side. This is going to connect to the side-by-side guest. Under interview mode, the host guest is going to connect with host guest small, and the full guest is going to connect to the full size guest screen layout. The next one up is Keynote Circle. This is going to connect to Keynote Circle over here. Keynote Full is going to connect to Keynote Full right here. Keynote Picture in Picture is going to connect to Keynote Pip. So we're just matching up all of these scenes to the correct button in action. And this one's going to connect to black and white camera. The next two buttons, just like this button was actually connecting an overlay, the comments is also going to select to an overlay. So go ahead and click on comment. And then for air horn, this is actually a multi-action button, and it has two actions connected. The first one is it plays the sound, and the sound is already configured, and you can change the sound if you want. And then the animation that we're going to play is going to be the overlay file named confetti.mov. Now this confetti.mov, if you see in the overlays folder, in the overlays panel, you'll see that this eye is crossed out. You want to make sure that it's turned on so that watch what happens when I turn it off. Now when I turn it on, the video file plays, and there it is. So every time you tap on the air horn button, it's going to have the confetti and the horn go off. Let's go over to the GoBox Studio so that we can hook this up and show you all the functionality and how it works. All right, I've got my MacBook loaded with the software that we just talked about. I've got my iPad loaded with the software that we talked about. And I've got my iPad pencil right here as well, just so I can show you the Lightboard features. Let's walk over and set up the GoBox Studio. So I'm gonna set up the GoBox Studio in a sitting down position. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you wanna do is lay down the GoBox Studio flat on the desk and push these buttons down and pull towards you to lift, to be able to unlock the box. Lift up the top lid and go ahead and put on the lid stay. This lid stay is designed for the sitting down position. Go ahead and pull this piece of foam out. Now have access to all the cables, the other cool stuff here, as well as the power cord. The first thing I want to do is hook up the power cord so that we can bring some juice into the device. Got an outlet right here. Thread through. I'm gonna plug in this cord back here and then switch the power on. Nice, power is coming on, and you'll notice that your road goes are starting to charge. I've got two cables here, a longer cable and a shorter cable. The shorter cable is designed to connect to our MacBook. The longer cable is for the iPad. I'm gonna just lay them down here. The next thing I wanna do is take out these little metal bars, and we're gonna stick them right here. Same thing with this one. I'm gonna stick it right here. This is where my computer is gonna sit. I'm also gonna power up the dock, which is the next step. All right, let's open up the camera. So the first thing, I'm gonna hold the camera with my left hand. With my right hand, loosen the red knob. And I'm gonna rotate it up and set this up right over here. Now, it would help if you were sitting down in position. Let's go ahead and pull this screen back up and power on the camera. Remove the lid so that the camera can see you. All right, the camera is all set. Now it's time to, again, do the same thing. Hold onto the light with your left hand. With your right hand, you can unscrew and then put this in the position where you want it to be. Same thing with the other one. And now I'm almost ready to go. Here we are. To turn on the lights, simply slide the switch up top. Slide the switch up top to the left. And the lights are now on. There we go. I am almost set up. My iPad is going to connect to this long cable, like I mentioned earlier. And the MacBook is going to sit right here, and I can connect the cable. The cable that's noted with the lightning bolt with number 3 is the one that we want to use. Now I simply have to open up my computer or laptop and unlock to ready to go. Now you'll notice that the StreamDeck has all the right colors coming on. The profile that we had loaded is now on there, as well as the screens. So next step to do is to simply make sure that all of these buttons work. You'll notice that the full screen button is flickering because that is the active button. When I click on the full CTA comes up. Half CTA comes up. And simply press the button to hide the CTAs. There we go. So those things are working great. I want to make sure that, so right now you'll notice that the camera that's connected is still the front facing camera. To switch to the right camera, simply click on the correct camera. Now that I'm using the correct camera, I can reposition because this is how low I'll be sitting and I don't want to be facing the camera to be looking so high. I can simply adjust by holding the camera with one hand. And then you can also see yourself in the LCD right above the camera to see how you're going to show up on Ecamm Live. Now camera is extending out a little bit, so I'm just going to adjust this a little bit so my computer screen is perfectly perfect. And now we want to make sure that we're choosing Cam Link for each of these screens. So I'm going to choose the first one. Also want to load up my iPad. So let's go ahead and unlock it. Swipe up to unlock. And you'll see that I have loaded up with my correct file. So I've got my green screen loaded and I'm ready to go. So next I'm going to tap on the Lightboard, which has the wrong camera. Simply click on the number 1 on your keyboard or choose the first Cam Link 4K up here to make sure that you had the right one. Now what I have in this screen is I'm going to make sure that under the video section and the overlays, the camera is selected to USB 3 capture. Now this camera is the iPad. And once you see the green screen, you're like, okay, what do I do next? How is this Lightboard gonna work? Simply go to the camera effects panel, choose USB 3 capture, and check the green screen mark. As soon as you do that, it's going to show through whatever is behind the green screen. And since we want this to be transparent green screen, we can choose transparent. And you'll notice that there are these black bars around. I'm going to simply click on zoom, pan, and zoom in just enough. So the green screen is basically covering the entire layout. To use the Lightboard, simply choose the color of the pen, which is white. Something that people don't know about the Apple Pencil, you can double tap on the Apple Pencil to enable the eraser mode. Double tap to go to eraser, double tap to go to the pen drawing tool, or whatever the last drawing tool you were using. I can just, hello, where is that? So that's how the Lightboard works. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the third button. Now this is the intro video button, and it knows that it's connected to the correct scene, but it doesn't have the correct file. So let's go ahead and locate file and go to our downloads folder. These are the files we just downloaded under the video. And we're going to choose the GoBox-intro.mp4. And voila, this is going to play any video that you loaded in. It's going to load up any video that you have and make sure that you are connected and going through the system and sending it out to the live stream. Let's test the side-by-side video. Again, in this one, we want to make sure that the correct cameras are in the correct positions. All right, so let's choose this one to be my cam link. Actually, this one is, there we go. And there's a video that we had installed. All right, so there you have it. This is the layout, how we've initially set it up. Sure, the scene is black. And voila, you have this screen setting. Go to the next one. Now again, since we have different computers, you have different camera settings. So simply click on this icon. Click on under the panels, this gear, and choose the Cam Link 4K. And it's gonna enable the video that you have connected to the StreamDeck and the guest video can be over here. So right now this is just a demo, and this could be a person that's dialing in, and we could talk more about that in another video. Click on the full guest. Again, this one's also looking for a file, so I'm going to go ahead and click on locate file. I'm going to choose interview.mov file right here. And there you go. It is now connected to the correct scene. All right, so let's go ahead and do the Keynote circle. So I want to make sure that we have the correct item in the correct box. Choose this camera, choose Ecamm Live 4K. And this bottom camera is actually going to be our Keynote camera. So now it's showing the Keynote that I have loaded, and on my screen I can actually tap with my pencil, or I can tap with my one finger to go from one screen to the next screen. And if I want to move my little circle, I can also move that by simply moving it any which way you want. The next button is Keynote full screen, so that you have the Keynote functionality in the full screen. Again, you want to make sure that USB 3 capture card is selected for this functionality. So again, anytime you tap on your iPad with your pencil, you can start taking notes over on the Keynote, which is really cool. And simply click on Done to get out of that mode on the iPad. Let me go ahead and tap on the Keynote full screen or Keynote picture-in-picture. Again, you want to make sure that we have the correct cameras selected for our devices. So I got in this one, I want to have the Keynote, and on the left one, I want to have the Ecamm Live 4K. Always set this up so that when you do your live show, everything is in the right place. Let's click on the black and white. Again, in this one, Ecamm Live 4K was not activated, so let's go ahead and activate that, and boom, voila, it is good to go. Next thing, you want to make sure the air horn works. Go ahead and tap that. And it does. It plays the audio, it plays the video, and it looks pretty good. And the last one is, click on the comments, and then we have the comments loaded up. The cool part about these overlays is that you can switch the scene behind and the overlay will still stay there. Anytime you want to take off the overlay, you click on the same button again. So just like this, if I go and enable the half CTA, it brings up the half CTA, but then I can also go into my screenwriting mode or side by side and still have that CTA up. That's a little bit on how to get your Ecamm Live and StreamDeck connected properly. And now that we have that done, we can go ahead and start customizing. Any questions you might have, please send them to us so that we can create creative interactions with your GoBox Studio by customizing the StreamDeck profiles, by customizing the Ecamm Live profiles so that you can load it up on your computer and give the best presentation ever. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.